AITA for asking my husband to limit his time with his nephews because our daughters are missing out? Hi, I had an issue yesterday with my husband which I'm conflicted about, regarding whether I was in the wrong. My husband and I have two daughters, 6 and 8. My SIL and her family live a couple of blocks away from us. They have two boys, both 9 years old. Her husband is in the army, so he is away from home a lot. When he's away, the boys come to our house often. They're great boys, respectful and energetic. When they're here, my husband takes them to the park to play soccer. They always say they have a great time, and my SIL also thanks us for it. When they're not around, my husband takes our daughters to the park too. I often join them too, and they also look forward to it. However, when my husband takes the boys along, even though we encourage our girls to go along, they told me they don't enjoy it. Basically, the boys get super competitive and it's not fun the way it is when it's just them with my husband. I take them along by myself, but apparently it's not as much fun, haha. My husband can also only do some days of the week, and when their father's away, the boys come on those days. Yesterday, I asked my husband to talk to his sister and set some kind of limit to those days because our daughters like going to the park with him for soccer, and it's not the same with me or when they go with him and the boys. He looked taken aback and said that they're good kids, there's dads away for long stretches and they seem to have fun here. I said I never said they weren't good kids, just that our daughters felt like they were missing out. He said he'll encourage them more to come with them and he'll make sure things don't get too competitive. I said we've gone through that before and it's just not fun for them. He said telling his nephews this would be cruel, and made it sound like I was an for suggesting it. So I wanted to ask AITA?
Relevant comments. Commenter, there has to be a happy medium to be found. Can you play with the boys at the park some days while your husband spends more time with the girls? Can your husband plan other activities that aren't soccer for everyone to do together? I agree he needs to prioritize the girls, but don't think any group has to suffer to do so.
OP. I'll try suggesting this, thank you. I've tried with the girls, but they're not nearly as enthusiastic about it with me than with their dad. He makes it a lot more fun for them. The boys might be easier to keep happy, lol.
Commenter 2. Question, what does the split in time look like? And how much quality and separate time does your husband get with the boys versus his quality and separate time with his daughters? Let's say your husband takes the daughters 2 days a week. And then he takes the nephews 2 days a week, and then he has the nephews and the daughters 2 days a week, and the last day is all of you. In a case like this, it would feel like the nephews are prioritized more if they do take over play time with husband when the daughters are there. It's not clear how skewed the dynamic is. Edit to add, would it help if you watched from afar to see the dynamics firsthand to understand how husband is when it's just him and the 4 kids? What exactly does competitive mean? And does it change how the husband interacts with RHE kids?
OP. So Tuesdays, Sundays and sometimes Fridays is when he takes them for soccer. And I'm reading the comments and some seem to suggest I'm jealous. It's not that, it's just I've seen how much my daughters look forward to those days when the boys don't come around. When their father's here, they get all dressed in their kit and come back super happy. When their father's away, the boys come on these days, sometimes not Tuesdays. And the girls used to accompany them all, but they've just complained now it's not fun for them, and only really look forward when it's just their dad and them. I've seen them all play. When he's playing with our daughters, their play is unstructured and just them running around. With the boys, I've seen him try to keep it like that, but it just becomes a bit competitive and my daughters start doing their own thing midway through.
Commenter 3, NTA, if it's so bad that even his daughters see it, then he is seriously neglecting his kids. He either needs to find something different that all the kids will enjoy together or discipline the boys for being too competitive and make sure his own children feel involved. I'm guessing there's an element of sexism in here too, in that he was probably hoping for a son to do all the sporty things with and ended up with 2 girls. Which is ridiculous because my daughter has way more in common with her dad than our son does.
OP. My daughters do like doing sporty things. They really look forward to going to the park with him when it's just them, and I really have tried to do the same things he does with them at the park, but I honestly don't know where I'm going wrong. And my husband also put up a basketball hoop in our backyard and the girls are really into shooting hoops with him too. And they haven't told him about their issue with playing with the boys directly. My oldest just said she doesn't want to and my husband just kind of said that's okay. But when him and the boys had left, I asked her and her sister, and they said they don't like playing with the boys, they steal the ball, play too fast, etc.
Commenter 4, not to jump to conclusions whatsoever, but is there any chance your husband potentially wanted sons instead of daughters? Nonetheless, NTA, he needs to lock in and spend some undivided damn time with his daughters.
OP. All we cared about when we were having them was that they be healthy. My husband loves my daughters and dotes on them. I know I made the post and maybe didn't provide enough background, but both my daughters are daddy's girls, and honestly it's part of the reason I felt the need to ask him because they're not getting the time with him that I know they enjoy. Update. Since today was a holiday, he was going to let his sister know that he'd be taking the kids to the park earlier today so the boys should come earlier. I asked my older daughter separately whether she wanted to go. She said no, even though she'd been hyped for it in the morning. I told my husband this. While she was cuddling with him, he asked her why she didn't want to come, but she was avoiding giving a reason. Eventually my husband asked if it was because she didn't like playing soccer anymore. She said no, she did. Then he brought up whether it was because of the cousins, and she shyly admitted that yes, but didn't give the details that she'd given me about the competitive nature and everything. My husband hadn't texted his sister yet, so he told the girls, the boys can't join right now, and if they still wanted to go to the park, we could all go. Both my daughters suddenly really wanted to go and went to get dressed. So we're at the park now and the girls are having fun with him. I think he's going to take the boys later in the evening, I'm not sure. But my daughter telling him seems to have made more of an impact than me saying did. Update 2. A few people had asked me if we've made any progress. So last Tuesday, after we'd gone to the park in the afternoon with the girls because of the holiday, he'd planned on taking the boys separately. I'd told him he'd be too tired, but then he couldn't because he was beat, so he'd told his sister something had come up. His Fridays are a hit or miss on when he gets back, it kind of depends. He usually knows about how it'll be beforehand though. So my oldest daughter had asked him about his Friday plan on Thursday night. He'd said he'd be back early, they'll be good to go to the park. He then talked to her about if it'll be a good idea to have her cousins come too, that it would be fun like they all used to have, and the girls said okay. When they came back, my husband thought he'd done a good job moderating things. The girls also said it had been okay. They weren't as enthusiastic as they are when they come with him alone, so over the weekend I'd just asked my oldest if their playtime at the park had gone better because Daddy had been trying to make it fun for everyone. She said it was, but that he isn't as into the game with them as it otherwise is. Basically the gist of it that I was getting was that he takes more of a referee role and it's just different to what they're used to, and I've gone along when it's just us, so I kind of understand what she's talking about. It's supposed to be them playing soccer with him, but it's not really, it's very unstructured. They'll start playing whatever the girls feel like midway through, it's just more spontaneous, I guess. I had planned on bringing it up with him on Sunday before they all left for the park. My daughter seemed like she was shy about saying all this, so I thought I would. But she actually brought this up with him herself. On Saturday night when we were watching TV, she asked him if we couldn't invite the cousins tomorrow. My husband said okay, but asked her why she didn't want the cousins there. He later told me he was just concerned about this issue she had with them and wanted to know it wasn't anything serious. She just said they don't have as much fun, so he dropped it at that. I'd had this idea from a few comments on my original post, so I told him I'll tell his sister to still send the boys earlier. I'll go with them, and he agreed. So I took them out earlier and tried to keep up with them, lol, but I thought it went well. I took them for ice cream after too. The boys got a good outing. My sister-in-law got some rest too. Yesterday we were going to do the same thing, but my sister-in-law told us the boys said they'll just wait for when my husband is free. She asked him when he'd be free, whether his free days had changed. He said there'd just been some changes to his schedule. I was of the opinion he should tell her honestly what's the issue, but he seems to think making our daughters the focus of the conversation would be wrong. I disagree, but she's his sister. So he went yesterday with the girls by himself. They've been super happy, but he said he'll come up with something for the boys too. It's a bit disappointing because I thought the solution I had tried went well, but apparently not. So it's still work in progress.